Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And we got to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, I'm always a little confused on the season number. So I'm going to go with season 5, episode 18, okay? Because that's what it says on my screener. But the episode is titled Signed, Sealed, Divorced, I'm Yours. Now, if it's one thing that that the producers and the network always get right, is the title of the episode. I don't care if the girls trip lasts 24 episodes. They gonna get the title right to the episode, okay? They are gonna get this title right, all right? So shout out to y'all for doing that. Now, let's read you the description. We're gonna get into the rating, and then we're gonna get into what happened, okay? So the episode synopsis reads as such, okay? The ladies say Thomas' adventure wraps up and continued tension for Destiny and Sunny, but also with apologies and resolutions for the other women. Trisha finally meets with her husband Marquez to discuss divorce with her boyfriend Ken in tow. That sounds like a lot to me, okay? Trisha finally meets with her husband to discuss divorce with her boyfriend Ken in tow. Now, okay, that was a big part of this episode, okay? A big part. And before we even get into it, I wanted to discuss something that I thought that I saw online back when we got the notification that the episode was, that the episodes were returning. Now, I have long stated I am not a fan of the show 15 episodes, then take a 2 to 3 month break, and then show the final 15 episodes, mostly because I feel like it confuses the audience. And even as I'm reading the comments here, the audience is very confused about what they saw at the end of the first half of the season, then the fact that it says a new season on this promo picture. Now, I, for one, appreciate a new promo picture every time there is a new season, but I think it had people confused. The casual viewer is very confused about these breaks because some people are like, well, how did they finish the season without any acknowledgments, for Kiki, who we unfortunately lost, God rest her soul. People are just confused. And so they're confused because we saw a trailer and then we didn't get any episodes. I understand it mostly because I've been dealing, with recapping shows and episodes. So I've got to stay on top of it. This is also the formula that Love and Hip Hop uses, albeit a slightly different way. But the only thing that I can possibly tell you is, and I don't know this other than asking in my interview with Carlos before, he does not make that decision, is that the network is likely ordering 30 episodes. They would probably order 30 episodes because I think it's like the #1 rated reality TV show on OWN. It may be the #1 show on OWN, period. And as such, I can understand why the network would say, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. And so they probably are thinking, well, we don't want to break it up because, we want to break it up to give it a break. But then you have people asking, well, where is Love and Marriage DC? Where is Love and Marriage Detroit? And I think having, I would just program it differently personally. But, I'm not going to complain because I got something to do. Okay. I got an episode to recap, and the more the merrier. All right. And this is one of those episodes that I feel like I can really sink my teeth into because it just didn't feel, I just can sink my teeth into it, okay? Because I felt like we had some resolution in this episode, but also some things that are going to spill over later. So I'm interested in hearing or seeing how things develop beyond this episode, okay? So also the reason I brought this picture up was because I didn't understand. I was like, where are Chris and Nell? Where are Stormy and Courtney? And so now that we know that Stormy quit back in April, this photo makes sense. It also makes sense why we see Ken and Trisha here and maybe not so much Nell and Chris, okay? Because Latricia and Ken, or Latricia, is heavily tied into this group in ways that we are possibly quite not, we possibly may never know the depths of. Okay. So let's get into it. If I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 10. I kind of want to take away a point because Lord have mercy, we are still on the girls' trip. We have been on this girls' trip for 85 weeks. It feel like now I know y'all had a lot of material to work with, and I'm glad y'all didn't miss a beat. But when we have the break from whenever to whenever, and then we come back and we still there, it be feeling like, oh my God, the girls trip, but they were gone all summer. They were gone all summer long. That's how they filmed. No, it had to be long. They were gone all winter because then Stormy quit. So they was gone all winter long. That's what it feels like to me. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. I got to tell y'all how I feel. So when we pick up on the girls' trip, really it's a nice little night. Everybody's dressed in white, you know what I'm saying? And I think that I like some of the things that Melody did as the hostess. Moving, Sunny and Destiny, or kind of switching around their seats so they didn't have to be like real, all up on each other when they don't really, they're not really feeling each other like that. I thought that was super smart. I thought it was that was good hosting, okay, in lieu of not giving seat assignments, because she didn't give seat assignments that night. She read a poem to the girls where it was a melodic poem where it was melody. The melody sings, the melody praises, the melody dances, and here you are. We're all in fellowship with melody. Okay. I liked it because then she gave everybody a white rose. And again, what I felt like with this moment was it was an attempt to bridge the gap with everybody. Everybody might not like each other because I don't think they do. But I think what they were desiring to show was that we can get along enough to get along. And I think that's what we want to feel when we watch a reality TV show. We want to see, listen, a lot of people, and some people are going to be mad when I say this. You got to have characters on a show who can go at it with any and everybody, okay? When you think about a Teresa, when you think about like who else? We can say a Kyle Richards, think about a Karen Huger. The reason why they last for so long on a show is because they can take a licking. Even, we could possibly add Erica Jane to this. They can take a licking from most of the cast and keep on ticking. And that's how you build a legacy type of character. And I think that is what this show, Mel, represents for this show. So I wish that a lot of people would not say, well, oh, they're coming for Melody, let me go after them. No, that gives Mel an opportunity to work. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean work like she ain't doing no work on the show, but it gives her an opportunity to give us some one-liners. You know what I'm saying? It gives her an opportunity to have those memeable moments. So that's one of the things that you typically see on any reality TV show, and it just is just a fact. That's just the way it is. So I really wish people would look at the reality TV show, specifically this show, in that way, because it gives every character a moment to work. For instance, Destiny had a moment to work. All right. When I say work, I mean WERK or WERQ. Okay. Work. And I felt like Destiny did some work tonight. So when everybody is really kind of like celebrating the fact that they're getting along or that they've gotten past issues, Kimmy is, very, praising, what a great trip it's been, despite the obstacles that she had in the beginning, and I just felt like everybody came to the table like, yeah, we did that. We really did that. And I like that moment. But, Destiny, as a viewer of the show, sometimes I have a hard time reading her mood. She must just be the type of person that her facial expression, she don't know how to do it. She don't know how to wear the mask. Okay. she might have needed Destiny, girl. You might need one of those PPE masks, and just put it on whenever your face is about to do something that you don't want it to do. Because she's looking like, okay, but she still got it on her mind, and she lets, because Mel asks, and she's like, well, listen, as a woman, it's very hard for me to hear, everybody asking this woman who I thought was my friend, talking about giving birth or having a child with somebody that I used to be with or whatever. And so interestingly enough, you get an apology from Miss Nell, who asked the question. Okay. And Destiny lets her know, well, yeah, it did hurt my feelings. And Nell says sometimes we speak without thinking, and Destiny was like, you sometimes we do. And so, but Destiny receives it. Melody also apologizes as well, because I think that's just what a good hostess would do in that moment. So I like that. I really did like that moment between the three of them, right? So then Sunny chimes in, and I just wanted to say, girl, just please don't say nothing. If you don't say nothing, won't nothing be started. So she says, yeah, if people could own up to their betrayals. I know you didn't. I mean, listen, you married to the man at this point. So for me, I gotta respect the sanctity of their union, right? And more power to you, okay? Because if you feel like you got a prize, girl, run that. You win the trophy, okay? But when you be talking about this idea of betrayal, girl, if anybody in this group is likely guilty of that, it would probably allegedly be you. Because whether or not you were Destiny's friend or not, you definitely allowed her to think you were her friend. Okay. And in doing so, you were able to get closer and closer to her man. Okay. Such that when the opportune time struck, baby, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So, allegedly. So, for me, I feel like, when Destiny addresses her, like, girl, see, this is what I'm talking about. And Sunny is like, and Destiny has to tell her, look, this is why I can't take you and your crocodile apology seriously, because one minute you are apologizing with your whole heart, and in the next minute you rolling your neck and smacking your gums. Although I did think that Sunny looked really good that night. Side note, okay, so she was smacking them lips and rolling that neck, but she looked good. I ain't gonna lie. Now, so then Shanita, girl, listen, I say this because I think that outside of this show, you follow if you follow Miss Shanita on Shanita on social media, she is someone who it seems like has a desire to inspire, and so that is the side that I had always gotten to know, not personally. No. I'm not. I don't pretend to know her individual, like as a person. Like I've never had a conversation with her, but on social media, I've always watched how she moved, and I respected it, especially because she spends a lot of time in Africa. You already know, baby. That's my second home. Okay. That's why we're going back in April 17th, 10th through the 17th for a luxury trip, baby. Click the link in the description down below. Side note, we got 2 more of these Thailand $200 off coupons for anybody that wants to go. And we just had a booking last night, baby. So I say all that to say, when Shanita chimes in and she tells Destiny, well, making the faces goes both ways. This to me, this was Destiny's moment to work, and work she did. She looked right down at Shanita and said, listen, girl, I understand that you got a perspective as an outsider. Okay. And the language there was beautifully done, Destiny. I respect your opinion as an outsider. A, you have an outsider. You have an opinion. I respect that. But B, you are an outsider. You have no, this is an A and B conversation. Dr. Shanita, you see your way on out of it. Okay. And I was like, bravo, bravo. Because the last thing that we need is an unsolicited opinion from somebody that don't got no stake in a skin in the game in this situation. Dr. Shanita, it don't make you know never mind what is going on between Sunny and Destiny. If you likely think Destiny is an op, and I don't know what you would think of Sunny, but it doesn't really matter because you don't go here unless you go in here and we just ain't aware of it yet because we see you gonna be in the next episode. So maybe you do go here, but you don't belong in this situation. Like everybody else at the table that sat quiet and mute in that conversation because they all know what's up, you need to sit mute on that end too. Because Lauren was the person who had one of the most pivotal things to say. And Lauren, listen, is new here too. Well, I'm sure she's not new here because we know that Lauren has been in the background, helping Melody and doing the work, right? And so when she did chime in, she chimed in with something meaningful. Dr. Shanita, what you saying right now, you don't know nothing about it, right? You don't know nothing about it. So why don't it sometimes, as Kyle says in the preview for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that's why God gave you 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to speak. So zip it. Okay. So I appreciated that. Now, outside of this show, again, I suggest you follow Dr. Shanita. She's a very inspiring woman who seems to do some amazing things. Okay. I can critique behavior on this channel, but I ain't gonna tear down the person. Okay. That's one thing that we're not gonna do. So either, respect it or not. I don't really care. Next, we're gonna get to Miss Latricia. Oh, Latricia, who of leaving the trip early fame. Latricia gets home and first of all, her hair is looking very nice. These braids are the braids that I would have preferred. And I don't really get into the looks too much because I do when it's time to do reunions and stuff like that. But I didn't get the other hair seemed like a bit too much or something. I don't know. It was like too much for her head. I couldn't see her face through the hair. So, but now I'm like, because she's got a great jawline. You know what I'm saying? And this showed off her jawline. So anyway, I digress. So she's talking to Ken about the girls' trip or whatever like that. And she, talking about how, basically don't nobody believe her story about, when she went over Martell's house and what they did when she got there. Girl, I don't know. I don't believe it either. It's hard to believe because it's confusing. And when something is confusing, I know well enough now that I've been watching reality TV long enough that if it's confusing, it's something awry. I told y'all I was confused about what Jen Shaw did. I never could understand it. It never made any sense to me. And now look. But anyway, what I'm saying to you is this. Trish, if you want to be believable, then you have to start saying things that people will actually believe. Stop omitting the truth and just give us the real tea. Or the next time somebody comes into a scene that have slept with, or I'm not saying you did, okay, but you've been over to their house, you watched the movie, you worked them out, however you worked them out or didn't work them out. Just simply, if they ignore you, ignore them. Period. Boom. So she got to explain this to her man, what did somebody call him? Megatron? I think Maurice called him Megatron, and I like it, okay? And I don't mean that in a bad way, because the man is just big, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the type of muscle I'm trying to get. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to work my way up to that. I'm doing these push-ups every morning, and Lord have mercy, I don't be feeling like it, okay? But if it's going to, at some point in time, make me look like Megatron too, then I'm on it. So anyway, and I got to try to look good on these trips. Anyway, so how about this? She talks about how everybody was questioning her relationship because she's still married and how she was, talking to someone else while the marriage was, falling apart or dissolving or separation or whatever like that. Then she says, well, and I don't know why Melody was so something to this degree. She said, I don't know why Melody's so mad. She did it too. I was like, oh girl. Oh, girl, they is gonna come for you. And Melody was already like, I don't really care for her too much because she seemed like she a liar. And she left my trip early without saying bye. Ooh, I sense a showdown at the reunion, and girl, you better be ready. Okay. You have better be ready. Meanwhile, you know, I think there's going to be some discussion had betwixt Martell and Megatron because Megatron being Ken, don't take that in a negative way, in a Negatron way. When I say Megatron, I just mean it that you just is you as diesel as a diesel truck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, is it genetics? I mean, or did you just work out 24/7? Tell me, okay? That's what y'all need to be talking about. Tell us how to get in shape, okay? But I guess all of this working out that Trisha allegedly was supposed to do with Martell, that's supposed to tell us what to do. I don't really know because they apparently they just watched the movie. Now, did they watch? I mean, what movie did they watch? Was it a workout tape? Was it one of those, Buns of Steel? Was that it? Because if it was Buns of Steel, that could lead to some. I don't know. What I do know is later on, Maurice will tell Kimmy that when Martell told them that he invited Trisha over to the house, but she want a baddie when she got there, so he ain't want to do nothing, and they just watched the movie. This woman don't look that different from her Instagram. Okay, so uh, it's it's hard to believe. Okay, and I don't know what to believe. Kimmy is still kind of annoyed with the whole nail situation of it all, but something Maurice says that I think is probably ringing true, not ringing true, but it's probably ringing in a lot of our ears is that it feels like at times Ken loves Trisha more than Trisha loves Ken. And to that I say that's a while we may think it, that is not something I would say. But now that he has said it, let's explore the statement. In any relationship, there will likely be times when the expression of love is greater coming from one person than the other, based on life circumstances, how love is shown, communicated, how it seems on the surface. So, getting to know Ken and Trisha, it's very hard to ascertain what that is really like inside the home, outside of the cameras, and outside of the fact that she's still married. Now, I'm assuming Marquez has been the reason for the holdup. Did I rate this episode? I think I gave it a 10. That's what I gave it because I loved it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So anyway, now that I've said that, we can continue on. So I don't know. That's hard for me to really ascertain. We then have a conversation between Letitia and Marceau as they catch up from the trip. Now they have some very interesting discussions. She tells him about her beef with Dr. Shanita, and Marceau knows of her. And he tells her that Melody, he tells her that she won't be around for long. I guess the implication there is that Mel doesn't keep friends on this show. That's basically what he is saying. Then they get into a conversation about Latricia and Ken, I think. Um, I cannot recall what the dialogue was there, but more importantly, the dialogue that I want to talk about is this. When you look at this cast photo, because this comes up, Letitia relays that there was a conversation about whether or not, she says that Mel implied that there may have been something that occurred between Martell and Destiny. Destiny, in a previous episode, during episode 32 of the girls' trip, told Melody, ain't never nothing happened between me and Martell. I believe it. But what happens is stuff like this. The two of them being positioned, even like it's just little things, right? And I'm gonna run down the little things. It is, look at the positioning of the other couples. Obviously Melody is, posed front and center because she is no longer with the man. And the man is off to the side with Destiny. Now, granted, they do have a friendship. We do know that. And it has extended, I'm assuming, from what I understand, longer than her relationship with Melody. But we also know that she and Melody may have perhaps trauma bonded in going through the hardships of their relationships. But Destiny still also maintained a friendship with Martell, thus putting her in the precarious position of seeming untrustworthy to Melody. I think that is the most simple way to describe a very complex situation. So putting them beside each other, even in the cast photo with her hands sort of lightly draped on his, then the comment that he made about in the episode about Destiny's child looking like him. I thought that was very weird. I thought that was very disrespectful. And to me, I would wonder why Destiny's ex has so much ire for her, but not for him, who has made a statement like that. So much so that now Marceau is saying in the scene, oh, Martell even jokes about the child looking like him. Who does that? I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. And so Marceau reasons that as a result, he could see why Melody would think the way that she is thinking about Destiny. Okay. So there's a lot, I think, of little details and breadcrumbs along the way that would lead one to think that. Now, again, I don't think it, but I think that there have been things that have been said that you raise an eyebrow about. And so I get what Marceau is saying right there. But I don't believe that Destiny would do that personally. What I do believe is that Martell is very good at, I would say, suggestion, right? And suggestion that could lead to speculation, that could lead to, and then it may not be cleared up, right? So it's a tricky situation that now Destiny finds herself in at the center of this. And I don't know if she should be distancing herself from him or if she should be spending some time correcting him from doing and saying stuff like that, because it is catching fire, right? So that's my thought. The second thing, the last thing that they talked about was, whether or not Melody, because it came up during the girls trip that, Destiny said that Melody was teaching, Martell's other lady how to respectfully cheat. Now, even though the conversation and flashbacks showed a conversation about respectful cheating that they did talk about, I think in season one, it was either season one or season two. Marceau does not believe that Melody was having a conversation to teach her how to respectfully cheat, maybe as much as leave my man alone. Okay, respect my boundary. Okay, respect my household. But again, it's hard to say because we never saw these things happen on camera. So it's left up to Destiny's interpretation. It's up to Melody telling us it didn't happen, and then the other cast members speaking on it, right? What I can see is, girl, don't mess with my man. Don't mess with my man. I'm gonna be the one to bring it to you. Okay. I can definitely see that. Okay. Or the next time you do, I might have to come down there. Okay. And get you. All right. But again, I won't dare. So the last thing that we see is, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I cried last. I shed a tear, baby. I shed a tear, and then I thought better about it. Okay, I ain't gonna even lie. Marquez has to sit down with Ken and Latricia, and two things can be true. Do I believe that Latricia was having inappropriate, or maybe is it we'll call it text. We'll call it text flirts. Was she text flirting or DM flirting? I don't know. I think that there were some things that were probably happening between her and Ken that may have raised a suspicion for Marquez. So I think he may have a point there. Um, is Latricia a confusing character? Yes. So I can see him being confused by her because I am. I'm confused by the stories that she tells. Um, but do I also think it's true that Marquez put himself in this situation? Absolutely, I do. And I respect the heck out of Ken because this man was offering to be a shoulder to cry on for Marquez, as Marquez is shedding tears over the fact that he is not the man who is putting his daughter to bed at night, daughter or his children to bed at night. But he chose to leave. He chose to become absent in their lives. And that has to be a very harsh reality for him. And so as he's, I'm there was two reasons why I shed tears in this scene. One was on I've not seen this on a reality TV show where you see two men trying to emotionally wrap their minds around having to work together for the betterment of the family unit, i.e., the kids. Marquez crying because he has lost a position within his kid's life because he chose to be absent. Maybe, I don't know, for whatever reason, but that was his choice. And he has to reckon with that. And he also has to reckon with the fact that there is another man with his former woman also raising his kids. But he put himself there. But I also had a little misty eye for the fact that we saw Ken step up in such a way that he had enough empathy for the situation to put his needs. He recognized that it was more important to help each other as men than it was for them to have any level of contentious relationship, despite the fact that Marquez is still working through it. Ken is willing to step up and still be a shoulder for this man. That is next level to me. And I was just proud to see that moment. You know what I'm saying? You see a moment like, no shade to Akeisha and Willie, because y'all know how I love me some Akeisha. But you know, Akeisha's like, can you watch the kids while I go out? And Willie was like, the kids.
Great.
And you see someone like Ken who is like, I want to put the kid. I'm trying. I'm putting these kids to. I'm there. I'm doing this. I'm that. And I'm not saying that Willie don't do that because I'm sure he does. Okay, the man is working. The man is doing the do. But back to back nights, right? For me, watching the previous episode of Bell Collective, then the current one, and then right after that, watching Love and Marriage Huntsville and seeing Ken in action. Man, I was like, that's a good man, Savannah. And you better shape up, Latricia, and you better start getting your story straight. Okay. But otherwise, I thought this was a great episode. I thought everybody showed up. I thought everybody did what they were supposed to do. To me, you know, I think if the fandom around the show can watch the show for entertainment, y'all, we can get back to this thing being fun again. You know what I'm saying? That's my hope. That's my prayer because I love this cast. Okay. From top to bottom. I just think that they know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I may not like all their actions. Okay. But I do think that they are, and when I say I love them, I love them. I love what they're delivering. Okay. As a reality TV cast, it's top notch. Okay. It's top notch. All except for that 80 long episode girls trip. Child. Lord have mercy. But anyway, now that we through that, we can move on to seeing what else is going on with these people for the rest of the season. And I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. With that being said, I will catch you all in the next video. Oh, by the way, if you guys haven't listened, I need reviews, baby. Drop those reviews on book 2 if you have finished it, if you have purchased it. Because listen, reviews help. You know what I'm saying? So I would love a review if you feel so inclined to do so. I'm trying to get to like at least 50, and then I think I'll start running like ads on the book. But for right now, I just want it to feel as organic as possible. So with that being said, I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Do do do.